All right, so again, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. Now, today, what I will discuss is all about introduction to auditing. O, ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng auditing, 'di ba? All right, so as an auditor, ano bang ibig sabihin ng auditing? Okay, sige, one by one tayo, no? All right. Pag sinabi class auditing, it is a systematic process of objectively obtaining and evaluating evidence regarding the selected assertions about economic events, actions, to ascertain the degree of correspondence between those assertions and established criteria and communicating the results to the intended users. Okay, one by one tayo. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng auditing? Number one, it is a systematic process. Okay? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng systematic process? It is, an audit daw ay may structured activities. Alright. Pag sinabing auditing, it should be objective. Ibig sabihin, free from bias. Pag sinabing auditing, dapat you should have or to obtain and evaluate evidence. Hindi pwedeng bawal-bawal, no? Hindi pwedeng hindi mo ibibigay lahat, no? It allows the auditor to determine the support or assertions for such representations, no? And with this, no, the auditor must gather evidence that the client's processes are working correctly, no, in terms of your financial data, and they are recorded and presented correctly, and the financial statements as a whole are fairly presented. Ano ibig sabihin? Dapat ibibigay lahat ang mga dokumento. Okay? The requirement is that the auditor is systematic and objective in obtaining evidence. Wala dapat bias. Okay? And number four, ang sabi, as auditing, it is an assertions about economic events and actions. Economic actions and events. Ano ibig sabihin? It describes the subject matter of the audit. So, it will describe the subject matter of the audit. Diba kanina, ano yung subject matter? Pwedeng IT, pwedeng physical characteristics, pwedeng yung FS natin, yung sources document natin. Alright. So, yun yung ating assertions. And number five, the degree of correspondence between those assertions and established criteria. Please take note, there should be established criteria. Okay? And number six, very important here, is that it should communicate the results. Yan ang pinaka-ultimate goal natin. Bakit nagpapa-audit? Kasi para malaman ng intended users kung sila ba ay free from bias, sila ba ay free from misstatement. Communications of the audit results to the management and interested third parties completes the audit process. Okay? So to minimize understanding, this communication generally follows the prescribed format by clearly outlining the nature of the work performed and conclusions reached. And the most audits results in audit reports that do not contain any reservations about the fairness of the organization's presentations of the FS. Pag walang mali, anong tawag doon? Unqualified opinion. So, we will discuss later, no? Ano yung mga audit reports na kailangan natin malaman. Okay? Okay. The audit adds value if the auditor has expertise in both obtaining and evaluating evidence, siyempre, regarding the FS, and it is independent to the management and the third parties, no? And thus provide an objective opinion on the fairness of the FS. Okay. So, but before that, no, ano ba yung origin of the audit? Okay? So, please take note of this. So, very important here is the origin of the auditing. Ano yung class, no? The word auditor was initially derived from the Latin word audiri, no? That is to hear. Parang auditory, diba? And the later acquired secondary meaning, one who satisfies himself as the truth of the accounting of another. Okay? That is the word, no? Baka ibigay yan, no? It is from the word audiri, no? To hear. Alright? So, in terms of this, very important is about the audit process model. Okay? So, ano yung audit process model? Anong gagawin mo? Phase 1 is the client acceptance. So, syempre, bago kayo mag-audit, kailangan i-accept mo muna kung sino yung kliyente nyo. Anong objective? Determine both the acceptance of the client and at the acceptable by the client. Okay? Syempre, dapat dapat aprobado mo 'yan, no? Decides on acquiring a new client or continuation of relationship with the existing one and the type and the amount of staff required, no? Ano gagawin mo, no? Ano yung mga procedures, no? Number one, you will evaluate first the client's background and reasons for the audit. Siyempre, ba't ka magpapa-audit, no? Ano ba yung background mo? Baka may anomalya to, no? Letter boy, determine whether the auditor is able to meet the ethical requirements regarding the client. Yan. Halimbawa, we will discuss more about code of ethics later. No? Determine need for the other professionals or experts. Yes. Okay, so ibig sabihin, kung kailangan ng expert, kailangan din. Communicate with the predecessor auditor. Ito letter dog, importante yan. No? Ano ang reason kung bakit umalis ka sa company yan? Bakit ka, no? 'Di ba? Malalaman mo kung bakit, sir, ganito, ganito, ganyan, no? Yan. Pag negative, paangat yan, class, no? And letter E, you will prepare your client proposal. And letter F, select staff to perform audit. And the last one is to obtain an engagement letter. Sige, one by one tayo, class, no? So, ito yung gagawin mo, ha? So, in terms of the planning of the audit as phase 2, ano objective mo naman dito, no? Determine the amount and the type of evidence required to give the auditor assurance that there's no material misstatement. Okay, yun naman yung planning natin, no? Our goal is dapat wala tayong ma-audit, no? Dapat maging but yung ating audit na is to give assurance that there's no material misstatement. So how do we do that, no? Letter A, perform audit procedures to understand first the entity and the environment including the entity's internal control. Siyempre, unang-una class, alamin mo muna kung ano ang entity. 'Di ba? Ano yung environment nila? O, ibig sabihin, understanding the business. Letter boy, assess the risk of material misstatement of the FS. And letter C, very important also, is about determine the materiality. And letter dog, prepare the planning memorandum and also the audit program, no? Containing the auditor's response to the identified risk. So, yan ha. Una muna, you should have client acceptance. Phase 2 is to plan the audit. Hindi pwedeng bara-bara lang. Na? Phase 3 naman is you will testing and evidence. So, paano yan? Objective here is that test for evidence supporting internal controls and the fairness of the FS. Yan. So, ibig sabihin, there would be a supporting documents, particularly for our evidence. How do we do that? Letter A, test of control. Again, now we will do one by one later. No? So, what is test of transactions, analytical procedures, test of details and balances, and search for unrecorded liabilities. Okay? So, ganun klase yung paggagawa natin ng ating procedures. Alright. Next one is all about evaluation. Okay? Ano naman yung evaluation and control? No? Of course, ibig sabihin, may mga time din dyan. We have feedback. Okay? Yan. Complete the audit procedures and issue. Yan. Ito na class yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, audit opinion. Kanina, you have now unqualified opinion. You have also qualified opinion. We have adverse and disclaimer. Later, no, we will discuss one by one. Kung anong ibig sabihin ng apat na yan. Overview of risk. Alright? Or base audit. So, perform the risk assessment or procedures. PSA is number 315. Understanding the entities and the environment and the assessing the risk of material misstatement. So how do we mitigate that one, no? In terms of understanding the entity. Of course, number one, basahin niyo yung kanyang manual. In their industry, regulatory, and other external factors, including the financial reporting framework, okay, or nature of the entity. Alright? Yung kanilang objectives, no? Strategies and related business risk, and the measurement of the review of the entity's financial performance or internal control. Okay? Also, class, in paragraph number 2, assess the risk of material misstatement or PSA 315, understanding the entities and the environment. No, ibig sabihin, class, dapat alamin mo kung ano yung business na ino-audit mo, ha? Alright, respond also to the risk. Alright, particularly for assess risk, no? PSS number 330, the auditor's procedures in response to the assess risk. Number 4, gagawin mo naman ay perform further audit procedures. Yes. Okay. So, number 5, evaluate mo yung audit evidence obtained. Yan. Yan. So, yan yung ating mga sample, no? Okay. Yan. Of the audit. Next one. Ano yung overall objective of the audit? Ba't tayo may audit? Honestly. Class, ba't tayo may audit? Why we have an audit? To check. Okay? To check. Pero we are not fault finder, ha? Okay. Anong ibig sabihin, class? So, ano gagawin mo, class? To obtain reasonable assurance whether the FS as a whole are free from material misstatement, whether due to the fraud or error, or thereby enabling the auditor to express an opinion. No? Whether financial statements are prepared in all the material respects, no? In accordance with the applicable framework. Alright, so yan. To report on the FS and communicates the required PSAs in accordance with the audit findings. Okay? Yan. So, ano yung applicable framework naman? No? So, of course, in your framework, very important here is your fair presentation and compliance. Pag fair presentation, ibig sabihin, you are free from bias, no? Or acknowledge explicitly or implicitly to achieve the presentation of the FS. Okay? Yan. Fair dapat yan. No? Letter C, acknowledges explicitly it may be necessary for the management to depart the requirement or the framework to achieve the presentation of the financial statement. No? Yan. And also, pag compliance, ay basta comply lang tayo, okay na yan. Ha? It is used to refer to the department where the reporting framework that requires compliance with the requirements of the framework. Right? Yan. Scope of the audit naman. No? Ano yung mga scope of the audit? So, the term scope is the audit procedures deemed necessary to the circumstances to achieve the objective of the audit. Yan. Okay? Alright, so the procedures required to conduct an audit in accordance, of course, with the PSAs. Lahat naman yan. No? So, ano yung mga other types of audits? You have government audit. Pa ikaw ay nasa COA, Commission on Audit. No? So, what you will do is to check their to check first now about contributions na particularly for the audit. Okay, so you have the scope of the government audit na, so you have financial and compliance audit, we have the economy and efficiency audit, and we have the program results. No, so yan, ano naman yung mga financial and compliance audit? Of course, it is based on compliance. No, economy efficiency based on the resources, and the program results. So, depende yan sa programa natin. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, class, no? If you are in the government, you have the Commission on Audit, no? So, COA. Okay? Ano yung COA na sinasabi? So, COA here is that recognized as the supreme audit institution in the Republic of the Philippines. Okay? So, there are three main divisions of the state audit, no? Based on 1984, primer on government and auditing. Okay? So, same as kanina, we have discussed about compliance audit, financial audit, and performance audit. So, ito yung mga ginagawa nila, no? Examination, audit, settlement, in accordance with laws, no? We have accounting and financial system and control. We have objective information of the financial and operational performance. Okay? So, there are two forms of performance audit, management audit, of course, the efficiency and the economy and the program. Very important also, class, no? Very important here is the internal audit, diba? So, an independent, objective assurance and consulting activity. Ibig sabihin, it will add value because it is part of your company. Yan. Same pa rin. Management audit, future-oriented, and operational audit based on your operations. Okay? And also, we have our financial audit. So, class, if you notice, napakadaming audit naman. We have comprehensive audit, compliance or components of compliance or performance and audit. We have integrated audit, now covers financial statements audit and internal control audit. We have environmental audit, now covers environmental issues which may be of an impact on the FS. Ulit-ulit lang ng compliance, na you have compliance audit used to determine whether the persons or entities had adhered to the laws and regulations. We have forensic, no? Refers to the examination of the evidence regarding the assertions to deem it correspondence to established criteria. Yan. Alright, so hopefully clear pa tayo, class, ha? No, about our discussions about some of the audits. No? Before we go to the types of auditor. So you have external, you have internal, you have forensic audit. External sa labas, internal sa loob as part of your business. Forensic naman ay specialized, no? Specialized kasi kakaiba, no? Forensic para kang Bureau of Internal Revenue diyan, no? So, anong klase ng limitations of the audit? Hindi yan perfect lahat, no? Alright, number one, the use of testing or sampling risk. Yan, so, siyempre, ginagawa natin ay sampling, error in judgment, no? Reliance on the management representation, kung ano yung sinabi, inherent limitations, inherent risk, about client accounting and internal control system, and the nature of evidence na binibigay sa inyo. Malay nyo, binibigay sa inyo ay walang audit findings, diba? Okay. Next one naman, what are the general principles governing the audit of the FS? Alright, if you notice last, ulit-ulit lang to, no? The auditor should comply with the Code of Professional Code of Ethics in the Philippines, no? Ano yung class? Integrity, free from bias, objectivity, ganun din, to be honest at all times, competence and due care, uh, to have degree or to have that one, that you are part of this school, and of course you should also be uh, uh, consider limitations, na confidentiality, do not divulge or disclose any information to others, and the last one is to have professional behavior at all times, no? Yan. Again, ulit-ulit lang to, ha. The auditor should conduct an audit in accordance with the PSAs, okay, or the Philippine Standards on Auditing. With this class, the auditor should plan and perform the audit with an attitude of professional skepticism. Ano ibig sabihin? Ha? Recognizing that circumstances may exist may cause the FS to be materially misstated. Alright. But may question, ba't pinapa-audit yan ng ating, siyempre, una muna compliance na requirement yan. Okay? Number two, for me, now there's a conflict between two who were preparation of the FS. Yes, so conflict yan, may mga time, no? Para ikaw yung magsabi kung ano yung tama, no? And those who are information. Number two, information can have substantial economic consequences, no, for decision making. So more on financial consequences, no? Okay, expertise is often required for preparing, okay, verifying info, no? Yun yung mga reason na kung bakit tayo may FS. Users of information frequently are prevented from direct assessing the quality of the information. So, remoteness. And of course, siyempre, yung voluminous data. Okay? So, how the information may be reduced? It allows the users to verify information, yes, or user range information with the management. And also, very important here is that have the financial statements audited. Okay? Yan. So far ba, so good tayo? No? Hopefully, yes. No? Alright. So, next one naman, elements of theoretical framework of auditing. Number one, the data to be audited can be verified. Ulit-ulit lang yan, ha? Short-term conflicts may exist between managers who prepare data and auditors who examine the data. Auditor must have independence, yes, free from bias. Effective internal control reduces the possibility of errors and fraud. Consistent also about applications of the GAAP. No? And number six, what was held true in the past will continue hold true in the future, no? And syempre, ang goal naman natin that the audit benefits the public. Okay? So, ano yung mga philosophy natin, no? Okay, about the audit. So, stewardship, agency theory, motivational theory, information theory, and insurance. Kayo na magbahala magbasa, no, for this. Alright. So, ano naman yung characteristics, no, of which make accounting and auditing profession? Systematic body of theory siya. Yes. Professional authority siya. Yes. Community sanction. Yes. Regulatory scope, code. Yes. Culture. Yes. Okay. That's why very important here. Yun yung mga characteristics kanina. No? Ranks with an accounting firm. So, sino yung mga nandun? Of course, yung partner natin, yung pinaka-big boss natin, concerned about the overall quality of each audit, no? And also about ultimately responsible for the resolution of a subject matter. We have also your manager and supervisor. It will administer the important aspects of audit engagement. Okay? So you have in charge a senior auditor, works under which for the direction of audit managers and assist the administration of audit. Yan. Siyempre, pag bago ka pa lang, anong tawag sa'yo? Junior auditor. Na ako ay naging junior auditor din, no? That time. Alright, sa Allied Bank. And now it is called PNB. No? Factors that could influence the setting of, ito naman class audit fees. Dapat class, no? Dapat malinaw magkano yung bayad sa'yo. No? Kasi may mga time nakakalimutan na dapat hindi verbal. Dapat yan ay written. Okay. So, ano class, no? So, risk involved, complexity of it, times and volume involved, no? Responsibility involved, sino ba yung responsible, conditions of accounting records and supporting documents, no? Or cooperations to be extended by the client staff. Okay. So, how do we pay for that one? Or methods of setting up the audit fee? Okay. Siyempre, dapat alam mo yung per dime or hourly rate or hourly rate basis, no? Dapat yung ating flat fee basis or yung lump sum natin. And we have maximum fee basis. And yung ating retainer's fee. Lahat yan dapat ay nakaset up as part of the audit. Di naman lahat, no? Malinaw lang, no? Kung paano kayo babayaran. Okay? Pwedeng per hour, pwedeng flat fee, pwedeng maximum fee or through ano bang ano CPA part yan also of yun nga parang pabayaran sa atin, no? Ayan, retainer's fee. Right, sige. Next one naman, ano yung mga organizations of CPA firms? Please take note, hindi pwedeng corporation. Sole proprietorship lang or partnership. Okay? So, ano ba? SGV, SISIP, Goris, Vilay and Company, Ernst and Young. Is the Lipan and Associates PricewaterhouseCoopers. RG Manabat, KPMG. Puno Bayan Arroyo is naman Punong Bayan. No? Navarro, uh, Navarro Amper and Company. And Deloitte naman, no? Rojas Cruz Tagle and Reyes Tacandong. Ito yung mga sample. No? Okay. So, very important also class that the core values. Pag tayo ay part of the audit, very important is our core values. Ano yung class core values natin? No? There are essentials in terms of the core values. No? And enduring beliefs that the CPA's professional upholds, no, over time. No? So, ano class yung mga core values natin usually? If you are an auditor, integrity. Dapat honest ka at all times. Free from bias. Competence din. But you will consider also limitations. No? Lifelong learning. Dapat continuous learning ka. No? Objectivity, free from bias, and honest. Okay? Yan. Excellence dapat always should have an committed to excellence, no? And relevance to the yan, ito yung important sa letter number 6. Relevance to the global marketplace, no? That's why class very important here is about core competencies. Okay. So there are unique combinations of human skills, no? Knowledge and technology provided by the value and results to the user. So, of course, you have communication results, diba? Dapat you are good in leadership skills. critical thinking, and problem. You have also here anticipating, serving, evolving needs, no? Synthesizing intelligence and insights, and integration and collaboration. Okay, so I think this is the last, no, the last word, no, about word file, no, about the uh, introduction to auditing. So again, thank you very much, and see you all. Bye bye.